All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, viewers. Good morning. Coming from inside Agwa, we are here live again with Dr. Louis Obodo. This morning, we will be discussing extensively on uh, politics of pull him down syndrome in Agua, a way forward. Okay, so with me, I have in the studio, just like we have earlier ended one program, I have in the studio in the person of Comrade John Mbonu. Comrade John Mbonu, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you, the anchorman.
Comrade
It's
John
my
Mbonu,
pleasure. Thank you, the
all right. Also, well, we have in the studio who is our guest of today, the person of one-time LGA TC chairman. He was once a candidate of the or an aspirant of the National Assembly, the Green Chamber, but unfortunately couldn't go through. So we have him today in this spotlight to enlighten us about the politics of pull him down syndrome, a way forward of our own clan Agwa. Dr. Louis Obodo, please, you're welcome to the studio. You're welcome to the
Thank you
studio,
very
sir.
much.
All right, without wasting
Thank you.
much time, you have the audience. Kindly introduce yourself because I may have not have a full background of your portfolios or profile. So you can introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay. Okay, I'm Dr. Louis Nonye Obodo. I'm from Obodo, Agwa, and I'm a medical practitioner. I have my clinic in Abuja, Non's Medical and Eye Center, and one time Uguta local government TC chairman, and past member of Lagos University Teaching Hospital Board of Directors. I'm presently working at Abuja with my clinic.
All right, that's a very nice one. I hope one day I'll come and get maybe one of these glasses that will help my sight because I'm going much closer to the screen very soon. So, sir, looking at the topic at hand, we have seen it: politics of pull him down syndrome, a way forward in Agua. Please, can you enlighten us, our audience, what you understand by the politics of pull him down syndrome?
Well, I don't know. I've had politics that pull him down syndrome. I think politics generally is even put to me. The one I understand is that politics generally has some element of pull it down syndrome generally now, because politics is a competitive game. Like every other competitive game, everybody is fighting to get to the top. The problem we have in Agua is that our pull him down syndrome is baseless, because when there's a competition, somebody wants to be at the top, and everybody cannot be at the top at the same time. But unfortunately, most times when we have the issue of people pulling others, they pull you down for just mega reasons. If there's a reason at all, somebody wants to be an asa, have some loyalty with somebody somewhere who gives him peanuts, and he feels that your position will impair the flow of those peanuts. So he doesn't think about the complete the communal benefits. He thinks only of his own benefits. And when he's thinking of his benefits, whatever that comes to the community is no longer of interest to him. So he tries to do everything to make sure that don't get there, because he feels that if you get there, that his loyalty to somebody else who is not from Agua will be hampered. And that loyalty is only oiled by things that means nothing to an Agua man or woman, things that means only just very little to him or her. So, and that is why we have this constant rigmarole of people trying to pay allegiance to somebody at the expense of their own brothers and sisters. And that's, I think, some minds is what we call pulling him down syndrome in Agua. A conglomerate of Agua people, a group of Agua people who are not confident in themselves and who are also not confident in Agua. And you see that they go about hoping on someone to take them to somewhere. And because they're hoping on that person to take them to somewhere, they will do it at the expense of their own brothers and sisters. So in that sense, We keep having people who fight their brothers for nothing, and then they keep doing everything to see that you're down. I think that's what I understand by putting him down syndrome in Agua.
Okay, going by your explanation, you have literally said that somebody might be hoping to have one peanut or the other from another person, and then not forgetting, now forgetting the benefit of what whoever that is coming from a particular community
Mm.
would do to the other community, but because of
Mm.
the personal interest of pocket infrastructure, they will now
Mm.
have to put somebody down. Do you think that in this series of election that we have had in Agua, that this particular topic has played a very big role in it?
Yeah, sure, it has. Now, come to think of it, the only few times Agua people were elected into any position in Agua, any position at all, it was because Agua people came together and fought for it. Mweze, and Dr. Gideon Mweze, Honorable Etebat, um, was Etebat, that's watch out. They couldn't have made it to to be chairman or to be House of Assembly members if Agua people didn't come together. Unfortunately, even with those ones, I don't know how it happens, but sometimes I think about it. Is it that they don't remember that with it's only Agua people that made them who they were? Because after that, they now become loyal to somebody else, and that person will not give any other opportunity. They like I said, Dr. Mweze went to become chairman because he had Agua support. If you have read through the history of that, which is what encouraged me to run for an election on Agua platform. Dr. That's on watch at the same thing. So I think the earlier we understand that if there is no connectivity among us, that will not go anywhere. I'm one person who believes that if some of us who Agua supported to get to where they are had stood on their own and lived on Agua, that's on Agua support alone, they would have gotten somewhere. But once they started playing allegiance to somebody, they had no future again. Okay. Maybe let me even not forget that the first Agua man to go to the House of Assembly, who is from my family, Chief Mark Obodo, also went an Agua support. Of course, today we are discussing about creation of state. People are talking about going back to Uwere and this and that. But part of why Agua had to leave was forced out of Uwere was because of Agua support for Chief Mark Obodo when he was running for Rataran County Council. And the entire Agua camped behind him, and that gave him votes in the 1960s. Then in 1999, Agua people came together and gave Dr. Honorable Dr. Nweze votes, which took him to Guta local government. The same thing happened to Honorable Watchout. So there has never been an Agua man who went far without Agua support, and that is the truth. And there has never been also an Agua man who went far with only the support of an outsider from Agua. And that is why today I refuse to be servant to anybody. I, I've been, well, we can say I've not achieved so much in politics, but I know that today I'm one of the few people that have managed to get to even to the federal board. And I'm sure if a federal board is announced today, I might be a chairman of a board. Do you understand? So that's because I stood alone. Because those people you think you're supporting, they cannot give you anything. They're only waiting to give you peanuts. But when there is something good to be given, they'll give it to their own people. Today, I'm at the federal level. I don't think I'm really looking much at what is happening there, except maybe I'll run election again over time. But the truth is about is that I've realized that no matter how big they are not interested in giving you something important. They only negotiate with you. They only bring you down to give you responsibility. They don't negotiate with you. It's only when you stand on your own that somebody can negotiate with you and offer you an appointment or offer you a position. But once you're subservient to anybody, the first thing that comes, he gives it to his brother or sister or somebody he can negotiate with. So I think Agua people, the earlier we realize that we can't get anywhere without ourselves, without each other, the better for us.
Okay, having listened to you keenly, that reminds me, just like you said, in 2011, you came out or you ran for the House of Representatives representing Ohio Mahajibuma, Uguta, and Oru West. And that was a very big, memorable, and audacious movement from you. And ever since then, I think since 2000, till 2000 till 2011, and to date, there has never been anybody that has moved up to that position, or maybe had that courage to go about that particular position or any other position that is higher. What was your experience during this political outing?
Okay. I think the experience was wonderful. Going to see back to the simple Down syndrome, I think there are three things that happened with that experience. Number one is that when I came out and I ran a ticket and I called an Agwa ticket from the beginning, there was fear everywhere. Then along the line, some people tried to break in the Agwa forum and they started talking to people from Agwa, telling them that this person has come to take your position in Agwa, don't allow it, this and that. And some of them who felt they shouldn't allow it were the people who sabotaged it, which is the same thing, Pull-down syndrome. It's still on record up to the federal level that it is even some people from the same Agwa who came to shoot at MBD to stop the election from and being announced. When somebody told them that if this man from your town gets to social place, there won't be anything for you. Interestingly, those people who organized it, who led that shooting, both the people who led the shooting and the people who brought them to lead the shooting, till today they have never even gotten anything at all, not even something remarkable, anything at all in the and from the people that they support. Some of them are even at loggerheads with them, the people they supported to win that election in 2011. Sometimes I feel that some of them, I don't know how they feel when they look at their back. Some of them are still moving around trying to support that people from outside Agua. But I ask them, what did you achieve then? What are you achieving now? The earlier you come together and as Agua people and move together as Agua people, the better for us. If I left alone, I'll be talking about a situation where Agua people will come together and say, we're not supporting anybody except an Agua man at every point. Let them do the election. Even if the election doesn't hold in Agua at that point, no problem. Because they don't get anything. I've been a teacher man, and I didn't, in fact, I see it as one of the lowest points of my life. I know who I was when I became the teacher man. I know who I would have become if I remained there. But I left it and I moved forward, and today I know where I am. I mean, I know where I am. In these past elections, I chaired the presidential campaign organization of Mwemeka Nwajuba. Okay, if you had won, I would have known where I would have been today. But it's an audacious move, you understand? So I don't think we should be looking at just what happens within Oguta. I don't expect a politician of a certain caliber to still be subservient to an Oguta politician. You should look beyond Oguta, because if your boss is from Oguta, that means that whatever you can get must be after your boss has gotten. Okay? So why would I have a boss from Oguta? I should be a boss from Uguta. Somebody is looking for somebody from Uguta, he calls me. In fact, I should be looking at where somebody is looking for someone from Imo State and he calls me. In the board I went to, I represented the Southeast. So somebody looked at me and said, I can represent the Southeast in a federal board. Okay? And interestingly, those Agba people getting to that level, I can tell you that I don't know, but I know that I don't think they're up to 3-4 people in Agua who has even gone to ordinary federal board, and it's an annoying thing. And that's because when they want to choose those ones that are important, where people can help people to get a federal appointment, where people can get people to get federal admission to very wonderful courses, they give it to their own brothers. But when they need somebody to come and head a small area, they'll give it to you because they believe that you don't have anything to negotiate with. You're subservient to them. I don't think we should continue in that light. It doesn't help anybody. So Agwa should be able to be audacious enough to come up with something. This is our candidate, we support him, this one is our own. But a situation where people feel that they can support an outsider at the benefit of their own people and get something from it can never work. Every community needs their own arrowhead to succeed. So when you go to another community to pick somebody that are looking to succeed in their own place and bring it to your own place, you're just doing and not doing nothing. And in doing that, you still put your own brother down. So it doesn't help anybody. So if you really call yourself a politician in Agua and you've developed, I think the earlier you look inwards, the better for you.
All right. As you can see, I am not the only person in this stage. I also have with me Comrade John Mbonu Chewoke, who also was a candidate of a political party in the past general election for the State House of Assembly representing Obodo as constituency. I would want him to come up with any question or anything he wants to discuss or say with you. But John Bon, please, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Louis Obodo. It's been a wonderful one sharing your views on issues of pulling down syndrome. For me, I think the politics of pulling down syndrome seems to be the greatest challenge of our politics navigating to their political life. And I have also argued in several forums that just like what you said, if you were allowed, I didn't you were allowed to skate through in that election 2019 because 2011, because I could remember vividly what all the things that happened. By now, is from that leverage, you should have been a senator by now and all that, and that would have been a plus to the entire clan. But here we are today, up since 2011 till now, a lot of things has happened still on that pulling him down syndrome. But now I want to ask you specifically, what do you think? How do you think we can navigate through this route? Because it seems that it's becoming a vicious cycle in Agwa politics that at any political era, one thing or the other, you will see an Agwa man or a group of Agwa man working against their candidate. How do you think, or what do you suggest we should do in order to navigate this process?
I think the truth about it, we've started the process. Unfortunately, it's taking time to take hold. And that process starts with something like ACU. I just mentioned now that when Honorable Dr. Nweze went to House, Agwa supported him. When Watcher went to House, went to the became chairman, Agwa supported him. When Honorable Watcher went, Agwa supported him. Nana. But the truth, these things couldn't have happened if there was no collective decision to do that. People came together and said, no, we must do this. And that collective decision we are getting to now, there's an ACU. Yes, it's not yet to Huru. We are battling serious security challenges like other people. But we started from somewhere. And that is, we have an ACU. We've had some people here and there talking. As we keep talking, people should realize the first thing is the awareness. People have realized that without an Agwa man being at the head, there's nothing we can get. We can only be relegated. Today, we've had a lot of people from Agwa who have been who have supported people for House of Rep, for House of Assembly. What have we gotten for it? Nothing, just nothing. Okay, so if we've realized that until an Agwa man is there, we can't get anything, we cannot move forward. But now we've realized it. Now, having realized that, I think there should be a collective conscious effort to support Agwa people to get to the top. And when we achieve that, no matter where it is, you can start with chairmanship. Okay, if somebody has been elected, if somebody is elected to be chairman of Ukuta local government today, an Agwa man, it's a plus. It's not that he has to be somebody with a dream anyway, because it's not enough to be elected and you now go back and become someone. People should be able to rally themselves, because I think that I think what is lacking in Agwa mostly, if you ask me, is that that confidence to be on their own, to stand on their own. So many people who call themselves Agwa politicians today are just appendages of somebody, and that is nauseating. That is I get angry with it. I mean, I get very, very angry with it. You can't become a local government chairman and you're still subservient to somebody. When you've served a local government chairman, if you don't know anybody, you know the other 26 local government chairmen you can work with. If you don't know anybody from local government chairman, you know the governor you serve. So why don't you link yourself directly to that governor and work with him? Why do you not have to come back to Uguta again? You've been number one in Uguta as a local government chairman, right? So why do you have to now go and attach yourself to another person in Uguta again and start looking for how to survive through that person? That's rubbish. That's saying that there's no future for you. So I want people should consciously look out for people they can support who have the dream to move forward. It's a dream. I personally, for a while, I've not really been active in, because I realized that the local policy is not helping much. And I have my personal dreams, and I'm sure, give or take, by the next 3-4 years, I'll realize some of them politically anyway. It might not really become a run elections. It might still be running elections. But the truth is that if you must go forward, you must have a dream of yours. You must believe in yourself. You can't believe in your survivor being under somebody else. And if the person doesn't survive, you will not survive. Count all Agwa positions you know. You find out they are looking for somebody to survive before they can survive. So their survivor, their destiny is another person's hands. You must have your destiny. And until you have your own destiny and pursue your destiny, you can't be anywhere. When you go to university to study law or medicine or engineering or philosophy, whatever you study, do you have to wait for other people to pass before you pass? It doesn't like that. If you're practicing as a doctor or a lawyer or as a businessman, do you wait for other people to succeed in business before you succeed? So why do Agwa people have to wait for another person to succeed before they succeed? Politics is a business, okay? And if you're running a business, run it with professionalism. And part of that professionalism that you should look up to succeed. You must not wait for other people to succeed before you succeed in politics. You must have your dream to succeed. And it's when you have dream to succeed that you can move on and move. You can partner. There's nothing wrong with partnering with people. Let's not forget that I'm not saying you shouldn't work with other people. I'm saying when you're working with other people, let it be a partnership. You have to understand from the beginning what you're looking at from that person and what the person can offer to you. Or if I'm from Mukuta and I can do anything without anybody I can. No. There must be partnership. Okay? As a local government, as a politician from Mukuta, I should be able to pick phone and call Dibiago and have been on good terms with him. I should be able to call Dr. Henry Okaf and be on good terms with him. I should be able to call Uju and be Uju in Ohajebema. I should be able to call the house chairman. I mustn't be quarreling with them, no. But they should need me when they need election, and I should need them. I should be able to reach out to them when I also need to run an election or when I need something from them. Okay, so there must be partnership. But the point is that don't believe that if Udribiagu doesn't win election, I might not be anybody. If Dr. Henry doesn't become a chairman or commissioner or this, I must not be anybody. That's wrong. Okay, when you partner with them, and so that they see you as a force on your own, and you see them as a force on their own. So that at every point, if I'm coming to a run election and I'm meeting something like I mentioned, somebody like Dibiagu or Dr. Henry I should be telling him if I win election, this is what we can do together. Okay, and by that way, as a friend, if he wants support, he supports me on an understanding that it will favor him too. Not just if I win election, then I'll make him something. He will not do it. I know he will never do it. You understand? So where we are now is an Agwa where people run election under some people. Every election season, they go and attach themselves. They're not attaching themselves to an Irona. They're attaching themselves with Dibiagu. They're attaching themselves with the other guy that was in the House of Assembly the last time or the present one. So they must attach themselves to somebody, hoping that if the person wins, they become somebody. It doesn't work that way. That's wrong politics. You don't do elections. You don't do business like that. You don't start a business believing if this business doesn't succeed, you must not succeed. You don't you don't go to school believing that if so lecturer is removed from the school, you can't graduate. It doesn't work that way. Okay? So you must stand on your own. You must have a mind. You must have a plan. Okay? And that if you have a plan, that means you must have a spread on who to work with. You must have partners. So those partners that are succeeding, they look at you, you're succeeding too. But when you attach yourself directly with somebody, today Dibiagu survived because he didn't make himself an appendage of Nzeribe. He worked with them, but he didn't make an appendage. So when the clan fought him back, he left them and moved towards Hope. And today, where is he? Okay? But if you are, those who remained with Nzeribe by fire by force, where are they today? Okay? So people must realize that you must have yourself, you must have a dream. And that dream comes with bearing in mind where you're going to, knowing that the person who is your boss today is your boss because there's something you can get from him. Not if he fails, you fail. And if he falls, if he fails, if you fail. If he succeeds, that doesn't work that way. Because if he happens to fail, then you are doomed. But if you see him as a boss you can gain from, you must support that people who are also bosses somewhere. Who, if they succeed, you succeed too. Okay? It's not disloyal. People say it's not disloyalty. It's you that saying that disloyalty. Because sometimes that person that sees you as a boss might not regard if he doesn't know that it's something you're bringing to the table. What you're bringing to the table is your connectivity. And they're also bringing their own connectivity. You're only under them because they have a higher connectivity than you. But you must bring something to the table. If you don't bring something to the table, you're nobody to them. Anybody can do what you're doing for them.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Now, let me narrow it down to what you have just said. We believe, or we have that mindset that political leaders help, or maybe helps the younger ones to win election, or they have a very big roles to play. But then bringing it down to Agua, you have seen that for decades now, there has been a very big vacuum in Agua political leadership, and this, for me, has hurt a political movement in Agua, where everybody comes together and say, "This is what we want." Do you think there is reality in what I have just said, and what can we do to avert this kind of situation if what I just said is reality?
Okay. Yes, there's a vacuum because at a point, I personally tried to drive a force, have my own this. I didn't win, but anybody who knows me very well know that as local government chairman in Ukuta local government, I tried to organize a force. Okay, I built some level of followership as a local government chairman, and I didn't go for that election. I came back. I tried to reorganize. Now, but what am I saying? I'm talking about a personal note now, and that kind of arrangement is hardly what we're like. Is exactly what we're lacking in Agua, building an organization that will be sustained. I didn't go through much. I didn't, of course, when people talk about being a local government chairman, to me, I don't even see it as anything. People who know me very well even find it, get surprised when they know I was being a local government chairman, because it's not something I go about so much with. Okay. But the truth about, because to me, it's really nothing. It's just a stepping stone. And that stepping stone, when I was chairman, I tried to use it to build a force. And I know how much effort I made, right from getting the local government chairman I want, local party chairman I wanted, from there to running for House of Assembly, which it took it took it took almost the entire state to collect the ticket to me and give it to SDR. You understand? And I didn't have anybody supporting me on it. I did it on my own. I fought for it to the point I came to Abuja here when the governor insisted that he must go to SDR. I think came to Abuja here and changed it. Before what was his name? Honorable Kama called the governor and told him, look at what happened. And governor had to come back to Abuja again and change it again. So that's the kind of political leadership we are lacking in Agua. People should be able to fight for their right, to fight for something. So people can only follow you. And people say Agua people don't follow people. I don't believe it. I believe people followed me. You see, till tomorrow, I've never, people come and say, Agua people, they don't support people, and I disagree with you. Anybody who knows me know that I participate in anything Agua people are doing comfortably, because I feel they followed me then. There are few people went and shot gun and took gun and scatter what's happening in MBD, doesn't mean the Agua people didn't follow you. It's their own mindset. It's just a few people. Okay, but what did the average man say? What did the average Agba man say about the election? If I had run that election, if I had gotten the ticket, what would Agba man done? And I believe they would have voted for me in mass. Okay, so it would be an excuse for me to be unnecessary excuse or a lie to say Agba people didn't support me when I ran. No, 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 no. A few people out of selfish interest, they know themselves. For one, they know themselves. I don't even hide them. Sometimes I call their name openly. And I tell them, look at what you did. I call them and tell them, look at what you did then. How do you feel? Some of them regret it today too, because they felt then I was their problem. If I didn't go to house, they will not become another House of Assembly member. They will not become, and don't interestingly, so what I'm saying is that interestingly, since after my 20,
All right, dear viewers, I think of course we know that this is Nigeria, where we don't usually bank on network. For the fact that okay, our guest is back, we'll bring him back to the stage.
okay, so what I'm saying that interestingly, since after that 2011 election, those who really felt, oh, it must be this. In that time, none of them has gotten there. In fact, I don't think anything really seriously has still happened. And that's ask me what happens. What really, because an Aqua man who gets to a point can always carry other people along. But we've not gotten that. It's not it doesn't work, it has not worked for us. So I think we've started somewhere. You asked a question, a German question, what is the way forward? And the way forward is that we've started a process. Okay. We should be able to identify people. Somebody And when we're talking about the chairmanship election, I heard some people saying, let's give you a chance. I was reading it and I was smiling. We don't give you a chance. You give themselves a chance. Politics is not a given thing. When I ran election, nobody knew me before that time. I came out and ran my election and I got my support. So there's nobody gives you a chance. You give yourself a chance. If a youth feels he can do it, let him come out and run election. We are supporting the last governorship election. People who know how much I spent, my personal money on supporting people, some people in an election. If you're doing an election and I feel there's a hope for you, I'll do my best. My younger brother you talked about now, who is one of your uncles just now, born around for House of Rep Assembly last elections. Okay, and when I weighed it, I didn't see much. I'm a very sincere person about certain things. I didn't see much business to it, and that's why I didn't give him the necessary. I gave him moral support, but I didn't give him the necessary financial support. Okay, but I don't think if he was running a ticket like maybe even serious financial support to run the elections, whether he wins or not. But I'm not. I'm not on. I'm maybe because I'm a my best course is mathematics. So I'm almost always focused on probability. When I invest in something, I look at the probability. Okay, so if we have Agwa people who are running on tickets that have probable chance of winning, I will support them. I personally will support anybody run, and I know there are many Agwa people like mine who will support. Before now, many people didn't know that Agwa people can do what they're doing in Agwa Secondary School or with the police station, is it not? But they're doing it. So what we need is just to have somebody who will believe in and will still support him politically. And I tell you, anybody who is running it on a ticket that's shown an impact might even get more support because leadership is much more important than what we are doing. If I have somebody who is in a serious leadership position, the person will do so many of those things we are doing in Agua Secondary School, so many of those things we are doing with the police station. Is it not? So most of us know that, and because we know that, we'll surely support somebody who has the wherewithal and who has shown the interest to do it. So what we need is somebody who wants to fight for himself. If you're a youth and you want to run an election, we have to see you running it. It's even easier to run an election now because of social media. Do you understand? Gain acceptance, gain support, make yourself a household name. And when people start talking about you, other people will put money to support you. So if the youth want to come up, it's not something you come to this and say, I want to support you. No, 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 no. It's something that the youth will come up. We want more youth. I can't really out of. So I can never run for local government chairman again. I can never run for House of Assembly again. Okay? If I must run an election in the next 3 years, it must be something much better and much higher. I've come 11. I've done local government chairman. I didn't see much prospect in it as TC chairman. Today I'm evolving. That's what in biology we call it metamorphosis. Metamorphize. I'm metamorphizing, and I'm trying to come back to run elections in a better way. Do you understand? And it has to do with money. Establishment.
Okay. Okay, sir. That's a very nice insight. That brings me to next question. But before that question, let me. That brings me to the next question. But before the question, just like you said, is actually a political aspiration. But I want to ask you, just like you said, that since you left the position of the TC chairman, nothing is happening. Of course, I know that before, immediately after you left, much like 2 or 3 persons from Agwa has held that position. And believe me, you from the information or from what is feasible, we believe that the protected Agwa electricity, um, the Agua electricity during your time came to a closest or maybe a highest achievement of it, where we were even able to see the brightness of a single bulb. So can you please enlighten us on this development and possibly what could have led to the bridge of that particular completion of that project?
Okay. We're still back to the same thing. I think if you ask me, one of the greatest challenge we have with Agua electricity, one of the major problem we had with it is not even the government at that point, because I went around to churches and told people to collect light. There was light in Agua. When I was chairman, light came to Agua. There was no doubt about it. In fact, 6 transformers were powered. One at Oba, one at Obafo, one at Umushim, one at Umwefeke, one at Obama, and one at Omoko. 6 of them, they were energized, and there was light. And I went around to tell people to connect lights. You understand? So while they were connecting lights, I recall that one of the poles broke. I replaced it before, and then I've left local government chairman. So it was after I left, I was told one day that another pole fell. That's a NEPA pole. I recall calling one of the people in power then, one of the commissioners from Agua, and I told him about it. He said, okay, something can be done about it. And I said, okay, you that's around, organize and let's get something done about it. Now, why am I telling this little story? I realized that the greatest challenge we have with Agua story is not just government, it's ourselves. Now, light came to Agua. We had a local government chairman at that point. The local government chairman left. We now had other positions, people who stayed. Okay. Now, a simple thing like a pole that broke, then pole was about 50,000, 70,000. I can't remember exactly what it needed to be replaced. Because if it wasn't replaced and there's no light, it was just a matter of a month. People start tampering with the wires. People start tampering with the poles. In fact, at a point, people even break poles to remove the iron inside it. Okay. So while I was local government chairman, I'm 100% sure that we got at least 70%, 80% success in getting the light. When I mean 80%, it's not that light didn't come to Agua, but I mean reaching to every nook and cranny of Agua, because light got to Agua. The engineers who handle this are all from Agua. Sammy Black, Let Engineer, and they did a wonderful job. And we had light in Agua. In fact, I was even hearing people talk about the money. One of the people running election now, I remember them accused me of money. And I'm like, I never even saw the money. Nobody gave me 1 naira to do light. The only thing that the project was given to some Agua people, and I made sure I supervised it. And to be fair to them, talking about engineer Ebun and engineer Sammy Black, to be fair to them, when they were involved, they did wonderfully well. And there was light. You understand? So along the line, this one broke down, the other one broke down, and nobody was able to replace them. Before you know it, people started stealing the wires, and before you know it, we'll get back to square one again. And that has been the Periana circle with Agua. I don't know how that was, but I know that was happened then. There was light, at least up to 3-4 months. People were told to connect, and they connected, and they were using it. Only for me to leave, and before we know it, cable drops, and people started collecting the wires. And while they're collecting the wires, nothing else happens. So with all community projects, you understand, it's always the same thing. Once there is a little default, everything will continue from that. Before you know it, everything will go out. Because those wires will not stay so long as there's no light in them. Those transformers will not stay so long as there's no light in them. You will even be surprised that high powered people you won't believe will come, and even NEPA themselves can come and carry the transformer, you don't know, in the name of repairing it. And that's the end of it. So leadership is the first thing we need now. We're about getting a serious. We already have leadership, but it's sustaining. If we sustain this leadership, it will help. We're talking about oil company putting lights, and those things cannot be sustained without leadership. So once we have leadership, I think so many things will be in place. So the light issue, as I was local government chairman, I'm 100%. People know, people testify. There was light in Agua, but it couldn't sustain just because one pole broke. That's fell down at what's the name? Oba Ejemekuru Road, and it wasn't replaced. And before you know it, people started removing the cobbles, people started piffering and everything, and that's the end of it. And went back to square one. We're talking about 214, 215 now. And since then, nothing much has happened. It has started again. Let's see how it goes. But we have to show commitment to leadership. Look at what happened to the police station too now. Is it not? Look at all the efforts. I just immediately something happened. Yeah, everything went with it. And all efforts went with it. But that one is insecurity. Nobody can be held accountable. I'm sure with the electricity it will be a different story. So let's see what happened with the electricity. Once it comes, it will take hold. But the truth about it is that people can hardly give themselves electricity. It's a massive project. I've had people say, if people can do it, I would have done it with my own name. You understand? But it's a very massive project. It's not even just the money. Giving Agwa electricity now is not something of 100 million. It should be much more than that. So it needs much more communal effort to do it. But by God's grace, as we are getting leadership in place, as we are hoping that Agwa people will come back, everybody, Agwa people person feels injured now. And is this injury? I want to say that Agwa people should come together and let's move forward. Let's galvanize. The youth should organize themselves. Let us see how we can work together and move forward. And I tell you today, like I said, I'm not running for House of my dream. In fact, there's one mistake I felt I made in 2011, and I think I will never repeat it again. And that was I was running for House of Rep. If I had somebody running for House of Assembly, I would have delivered him with my support. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying now. When I was having for House of Rep, with the effort I put, with the money I put, with the power I generated, with the contact I had, if I had somebody from Agwa too, because I was feeling that an Agwa person might derail my own chance, but I didn't realize that then, with what I know now, that if I was running for House of Rep and that indirectly supporting another Agwa person running for House of Assembly, at a point I could have traded my position to give that young person a position in the House of Assembly, and the person would have gone through, because that time they were ready to offer me anything to leave the House of Rep, and I would have traded for an Agwa person, another younger person. Okay, and I think by 2027, when I come back to run, when I'm interested in politics again, which I'm, like I told you, I'm working on it seriously. If I can't go, an Agwa person must go. Even if I don't get what I'm looking up at the top, I'm sure that I'll help an Agwa person get something lower. I'll be able to get to a point where the worst I can do is bargain to give an younger Agwa person a position. So I think that's what I have to say.
Okay. Okay. Now, looking at the announcement of the ISEC election that is coming up, you will agree with me that from all indication or from every platform in Agwa that we have had more than 4 persons declaring interest to run for this particular position. What is your take on the matter? Because if you look at what is happening, you will see that we have the young, the old. In fact, if I myself, I will even go and print poster to say I want to contest because I'm entitled to. Is my right? Am I not? So, what is your take, sir?
I want to ask you a question before I answer this question. Do you mind?
Of course.
Okay. Do you know Dr. Abiazem, the present Agwa Solar Administrator? Do you know him very well?
I don't know him well, but I was with him yesterday. I don't know him like we've not interacted, but I was with him yesterday.
Why is this question important? Local government chairmanship is not something you run on social media or Facebook. You can even run Senate. You can even run House of Rep, House of Assembly on social media, but not local government chairman. Local government chairmen are handpicked by the governor. Okay, so the way he appointed the sole administrator, that's the same way the governor will look at the quantity of people around him and say, okay, let's keep this person. Let's give this.
Okay, viewers, of course, like I told you, our issue or problem in Nigeria is not banking on network always. We have always had this issue, but I want to stay tuned. We'll go on a short break, and when we return, we'll bring back Dr. Louis Obodo, and then I believe his network must have returned. Stay tuned with us. Bye. right, great viewers. Of course, you know that we are talking about politics of pull him down syndrome, a way forward for our clan Agwa. And I want to tell you for free that this has been an interesting topic that we are discussing, and then we know we are also enjoying it. We are seeing all your comments, and then we will be able to address some of the questions that you are asking. But then the network in Nigeria is something else, so we cannot always bank on it. However, it has been a very interesting day for us, and I wish that we stay tuned as we get back to our guest of today. It has not been easy, but believe me, I think one of the challenges we have in Agua, one of the biggest challenges we have in Agua is pulling him down syndrome. And then, of course, like I will keep preaching on this same platform until we have a unanimous front, until we come together and say this is what we want, until we come together and say let us achieve this. We cannot go forward. We cannot go further. We cannot go anywhere close to the government or probably achieve anything in Agua, unless on individual contribution. But if we must attract the government, the presence of the government, if we must attract the presence of the developmental stride of the Sterling Global Oil Resources operating in our clan, definitely we must form a formidable ground. And what is the formidable ground? Coming together as one indivisible person, leaving behind our differences, and then coming to say, let us chat Agua front. Dear viewers, it's our pleasure to have you on this screen every weekend. While we take a short break again before we bring it back our guests, we want you to remain tuned and keep dropping those your comments. Share this page, like and comment, because you are our lover, and we are very much proud of you, our fans. Okay, we are still facing network challenge from our viewer. We are still facing network challenge based on our guest. So we are imploring you to please give us time to come back. I think okay, our guest is back. We'll bring him back to the stage.